some support groups specifically for our breast cancer patients right at our cancer center across the street here. So I'm just going to print out a schedule. Now you don't have to like enroll in anything. You can just show up to these appointments. And then I'm also going to give you like some online stuff too. So you can, you know, just kind of decide what one you prefer. But I'll give you a few different options. Get more of these. Professional Rolodex here. They don't make Rolodexes anymore. I don't know if you knew that, but they don't.
They don't.
So.
At least it's clipped.
I know. It's just like I keep adding stuff. I'm like, this just looks awful. All right. So I'm going to give you a few different things here. And like I said, if you kind of start to look through these and if they don't seem like something that would help, just let me know. So like I said, this is our breast cancer support group. It's right across the street at the cancer center. They meet every Monday in the month. I believe there's a schedule back here. Yeah, so there's like one each month. So the next one is going to be Monday, August 11th, because we've already passed that one. You don't have to register for it. You can just show up. If you want to register, you can. This right here is our social worker that we work with. Her name is Lisa. So if you want to call and get information, she's a really good resource. So I will give you that. This one is more of like an online option. They actually connect you with a breast cancer survivor, so somebody that's kind of been through the whole process. So sometimes that's really helpful. So you can either go to the website or just call that. This one is a little bit more local. It's just this Cancer Hope Connection. So there's another, I think, yeah, they're the first and third Thursday of each month. So they're another really good option. They've got a phone number and a website there if you'd be interested. And then we do have a counselor that we use quite often. She's actually Dr. Reschke's mom, so she can't refer her, but keeping things in the family. But she's located in Battle Creek, but we actually have quite a few of our breast cancer patients that go and see her. So she's very familiar with the whole process. So if you're interested, she has her own practice in Battle Creek and she's wonderful. So they are really good options. Like I said, if there are other things that you think would be helpful, just let us know. I know she said you have an MRI coming up here, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know when that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll call me probably to schedule.
Yeah, and when we step out, we'll get a printout of the paperwork. It looks like they already have it scheduled, and that is tomorrow, actually. I'm surprised they have an appointment that soon. But that'll be here at the main hospital. So, like I said, when we step out, we'll get the information printed out. And then once that MRI is read, it's a little bit different from the biopsy because we have that built in. So there's a 48-hour delay. Once the radiologist signs that report, that's automatically going to go to your MyChart. So just kind of keep that in mind. But she will call and go over those results with you, depending on, when they sign it. It might be over the weekend. I would guess probably Monday maybe. But either way, she's going to call and go over those results with you and then help kind of finalize that game plan for surgery. So we'll start with that. And then are you meeting with the genetic counselors too?
This week.
Okay,
This week.
perfect. So typically once we get all of that information, and with the genetic counselors, they'll draw your labs that day and send that off for testing. I'm sure she probably mentioned. Usually takes about 2 weeks for those results to come back, and then they'll just call you and go over those results. For some people, that does impact what they want for surgery, so I think we'll just wait until we get the MRI and the genetic counseling results back, and we'll kind of finalize that plan. So does that sound like a good plan of action for you? How are we feeling about everything? I know it's a lot to process.
I'm still kind of full. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still hard to process.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of information to take in too. And I know she said, mom had a history but didn't really talk about it. So I think it's hard when, you're kind of trying to like mentally prepare yourself coming into this appointment to know what to ask. And sometimes we don't know what to ask. But I think even if you have a family history, everybody's cancer is different. Everybody's plan is different. So, that's why we, do those individual things, because everybody's, journey is different with it. So I think it does make it hard when, you want to have some of that prepared and know what to ask. And sometimes we just don't know. And some of it, we're still getting information too. So, I think with the MRI and like I said, with the genetics, that'll help kind of piece that all together. And I think it'll, help you feel better about whatever decision you guys come up with. So, like I said, it's just hard because right now we're still kind of gathering that information. So, but once we have all of that, that helps kind of ask some questions too. So you don't necessarily have to come back in for an appointment. A lot of times, like I said, she'll just call and kind of finalize that. But, like I said, once we get the MRI and the genetics, that'll help us kind of look at those next steps. So it's okay. Just take a breath. It's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot to process, and it's a big decision with, surgery and everything else. It's not an easy thing. So it's a lot of information, but like I said, we'll take it one step at a time because that's all we can do. So, but like I said, if there is anything that we can help with, just always know that we're here to help. We're more than happy to answer questions or just talk through stuff. Like, that's what we're here for. So I'll give you my business card too. I know that it should be in that book that I think Nicole gave you. So the main phone number on there, that'll get you to any of us. So like I said, if there's ever anything, if you have questions or just want to talk about stuff or any more resources, feel free to just reach out. Okay. We'll have you guys step out here. We'll get that paperwork printed off. Did she say anything about like labs or anything? I didn't see any orders for anything, so I think we're good, but I will give you that, and we'll step out and get that paperwork printed out for you, and we'll go from there.